Alright, so here we are with a step-by-step plus tips on wig making, and make sure you watch the whole video because I'm going to need your help at the end. And these are the tools that you will need: needle, thread, pins, and scissors. And you will definitely need a wig head stand. I got mine from a Sally's beauty supply store, but you can actually find them on Amazon for around $7 or $8. This makes your wig making so much easier. And you definitely want to make sure you get a weaving cap, preferably one that looks like this. There are different brands out there. I like this cap mainly because I wash my wigs and the drying time is better when you use a cap that's breathable besides the elastic dome that you see sitting back there. But this cap does have some velvet at the hairline, so it's soft on your hairline or on your edges. But this is a pretty good weaving cap. If you haven't gotten a chance to see this video, I made a video over a year ago on how to make your foam heads bigger. You might want to check that out. But I'm just going to go ahead and place this on the wig head and show you how I pin it down. The last video I did showed where I put the lace closure, so that's why you still see the markings on this weaving cap. And I'm just going to go ahead and start pinning this down so that it doesn't move, and it makes my sewing process a lot easier. Now make sure you guys put this wig cap on the head correctly, because mine is inside out, which is why you see the tag sticking out, and I'm going to cut that off later. But I'm kind of stretching the bottom so that it's nice and long, and I can use enough of it to start sewing my tracks on. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin the unhooked elastic bands to the side so that they're not in my way and I won't sew over them. So usually when I get started, I actually go right through the track first and then start sewing it to the weaving cap. Now I'm going to be going over some very important tips for each part, definitely on my sewing technique, how far apart to space the tracks, the fold over method, which you'll probably see this kind of briefly in this clip. And one tip that I'm really going to tell you, you don't want to sew through the tracks as you sew because it slows you down, and two, it's better because you won't have to worry about too much shedding with the track hair as you go on. And mind you, this is virgin hair that I've gotten or received from Sam's Beauty Supply. So let's start off with my sewing method. The sewing method that I'm actually using is called a blanket stitch, and you see a diagram or a picture right here. Again, I go through the cap and around the track or the weft of the hair and pull the needle through, and a loop of the thread will come up into the needle, and it will look just like this picture that you see in the top right corner. So this is my sewing method that I use to sew all of my tracks down, again making sure that I don't go through the wefts of the hair, just around the tracks, and it actually helps to lay the tracks down very nice and flush to the wig cap. So not everyone has actually seen the fold over method, but how I started off is I actually do sew through the thickest part of the cap and go through the actual weft of the hair so that I'm sure that it's tacked down nice and tight. And this is the edge of the cap because this is where the fold is going to be at. And what I do is I just fold the weft of hair over to start my next row of track to sew. So once I have my next row pinned down, what I do is go right back through the edge of the cap, and I go through both of the wefts. There's a small little fold that you'll see at the end, still using the same stitch technique or method, and that I do twice so that I'll make sure that the fold is very flat and flush to the edge of the cap, so there wouldn't be anything sticking out or funny around the edges of your wig. And I'm just making sure the lighting shows you how nice and flat and flush that is, and I just continue to sew. So I just finished the 16-inch bundle of the live hair from Sam's Beauty, and it's at an angle because this is a side part wig that I'm doing, and the spacing that I am using for the first bundle of hair is 2 fingers in spacing. As I get closer to the top of the wig, I start to space out my tracks about a finger apart. So before I add the last 2 bundles of this wig, I like to put the lace or invisible lace part closure onto the wig first. And I have it pinned down, and I'm just going to sew all the way around. I'm going to sew from one side all the way to the other side to make sure that this is down, so that when I apply the rest of the tracks, it's covering the lace and it's a little bit more secure. So the sewing method that I'm using is pretty simple. It's just a regular stitch, and I'm making sure I'm securing this lace closure really nice and tight to the weaving cap all the way around, and it's just a nice little vertical stitch that I do. So to answer the question, is 1 pack enough? Well, I just finished the 14-inch bundle, and this is how much I have left for the 12-inch. So to answer your question, yes, 1 bundle is actually enough. This is pretty nice and full. It's not really big hair, but it's nice and full. Keeping in mind that there are 2 textures here. I have the natural wave hair from Sam's Beauty, the Live brand, and I have the Remy closure on top. So this is how much hair that was left over after completing this wig, and it was pretty quick and easy. So I can't wait to show you guys how I'm going to style it. So if you haven't gotten a chance to check out these 2 videos about the hair, where I got it from, and how I made the closure, make sure you check that out. And I need you guys' help. I am not sure which look or combination should I try, so please leave your comments below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Please share, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.